So let's talk about let's continue in our discussion with the terms. So we're talking about halving. So what is halving? Halving is basically the way maybe cryptocurrency is designed. Let's take Bitcoin for example. Every 4 years you will have the number of bitcoins that is available to the miners. So the next one is going to occur 2020. So that is going to drive the supply up and then increase the competition. Then what is hard fork? So hard fork we've seen from forks. So forks has to do with changes we make to the software. No, now hard fork is change that we make to the software that is not backwardly compatible. So what does this mean? It means you make a change to the code. Now the code is irreversible. Then you have hardware wallet. So this is a wallet that you can actually access from maybe hard disk or whatsoever. And then talk about the hash function. I will explain this. I will explain this as the last one. And also hash rate. I will explain this as the last one. Now hold has to do with when you are holding to a certain type of cryptocurrency, and maybe you are expecting that maybe in a certain amount of time or a certain period, the asset or cryptocurrency is going to explode in price. So some people call this hold for your dear life. Then you talk about hot storage. So hot storage is the opposite of cold storage. So we said cold storage is basically when you store a digital asset in an offline medium like paper wallets, using USB sticks or storing them in your hardware. So they can be accessed offline. So hot storage is basically storing digital assets in a medium that can be accessed online, maybe with the help of the internet. And then move on to talk about initial coin offering. So I made a video on initial coin offering for you to know about initial coin offering. So basically initial coin offering is when maybe certain group of persons or a company needs funds for a specific purpose, and they are saying, okay, we are having our cryptocurrency now, and we have a project to launch. In this project, we have certain form of cryptocurrency. Anybody that can invest with us, we are going to offer them a certain amount of coins for a certain price. So it's basically a way of doing crowdfunding, but some of them are unregulated, some of them are regulated. So it's basically the way of raising funds from the public for a specific purpose in exchange for coins or tokens. Then we have intermediary. So what is an intermediary? So intermediary is basically kind of third party that mediates between you and another person. Or so let's say for example you have a bank. If you want to transact, you want to send money from Alice, you want to send money to Bob, or you want to send your money to a friend. How do you confirm that money actually went? How would the bank confirm that you actually send the money? How would the bank confirm that you actually have that money in your bank account? So there's a third party. So intermediary has to do with third parties. So but with Bitcoin or blockchain, third parties are taken away. We don't need third parties to verify if something actually is true. With smart contract, we can verify that this is true, this is not true. And then K, you have KYC. So KYC is know your customer. So these are basically, it's almost the same. Is also in line with AML, anti-money laundering. So these are things that require maybe a certain enterprise or blockchain startup to actually identify who is actually investing in their project. So let's say for example there are this is an ICO for example now. Now they are running the ICO. They tell you, note, if you are from China, Japan, Republic of Korea, and United States, you're not able to participate. Why? Because they are going to ask for KYC, and by the time they start look at KYC now. So by the time you look at KYC, if you are part of these countries, you'll be able to know. So we are knowing who is participating and what are the details. So in case of any stuff, we can actually know how to go about them. And then I said, okay, I'll be explaining hash function and then hash rate. So what is hash function? Hash function is basically a system where there is an arbitrary. And when I mean about an arbitrary function or input, now hash function is basically when an input is of an arbitrary size. So an arbitrary size means it could be of any length. It's fed to maybe a computer program, and then it's as a message. It returns that after some computational transformation, it returns that back as an output, which is called digest, or it's called hash, or they call it any. There are different names that they can actually call it, but it returns it in a finite, in a finite output. So let's take for example that the input which is the function that is fed to the computer program could be of arbitrary, and let's say 1 million, it could be in 1 million bits or 1 million numbers. Now if it's fed to the computer after the computational transformation, it could be fed to, depending on the hash, the hash function, depending on the algorithm, it's going to bring it back in finite number. So there are different type of hash function algorithm. Now before we talk about the different type of hash function algorithm, we'll talk about the use cases. Now they've been used in historically they've been used in things like digital signatures, where they use maybe the e-commerce protocols, or where security is of utmost concern, or we're talking about things like authentication, or we're talking about address generation. So in Bitcoin, it has mainly used from blocks. How do we generate blocks? How do we verify and other stuff? So the algorithms to which this actually works, there are many algorithms. Like you have you might have seen something like the SHA-256 algorithm. There are other protocols like MD5, MD4, and that one SHA-1, and the rest of them. So there are many requirements for a platform for an algorithm. Now there are 4 requirements I'll be telling you about. The first one, it has to be computationally efficient. So it means that when you feed this stuff to the computer as an input, it's not supposed to take a lot of time for it to actually compute that input and give an output. Then the other thing is what we call the collision resistance. But I will making a video on this to actually explain everything so you understand, but I think there is time for me to actually explain this. Now, it has to be collision. It has to be collision resistance. So what that means is, when you for two different inputs have to have 2 different outputs. Though there are certain times where maybe 2 different inputs could have the same output, but it's supposed to be maybe it's supposed to take an astronomically long length of time for that to be possible. So the function has to be, the algorithm has to produce outputs that are let's say in 1 in a million case for you to have such collision. And then the other stuff has to do with it should be able to hide information about the input. Now we should maybe it's for security reasons, BINANCE should not be able to access that stuff, to be able to access such information about the input. And then the 4th requirement is that it has to be random. We call it randomness. So it has to be random, meaning the output, that is output, is not something that has to be predictable. The issues of oddness or evenness has to be something that is not really predictable. So it has to be random. And then when we talk about the SHA-256, we're talking about when you feed an input of arbitrary size, it's supposed to return it in 256 bits. So it's supposed to be 256 long. And the last thing I want to explain is the hash rate. So the hash rate has to do with the rate at which this computation is being done. Is it very fast? Is it, or some people call it the hash power. So it has to be the rate at which this hash function produces the output. So if this video has been very, very helpful, you've learned halving, hard fork, hardware wallets, the hash function, hash rate, then hold, hot storage, initial coin phrase, intermediaries, and then KYC. If this video has been very helpful and you need someone to, and you think this video can be helpful to other persons, why not share with those persons? And if you don't subscribe, consider subscribing. Have a very good day.